Welcome to the Open Mic Podcast, Episode 4. Today in the studio, it's me and Jason, and we also have very funny comedian Miles Francis. Say what's up, Miles.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
How's it going, Jason?
Hey, not too bad, man. Thanks.
Today is a special episode. Today is actually Jason's birthday. Happy
Woo-hoo!
birthday,
Woo-hoo!
Jason.
Thanks, man.
Jason is turning 74 years old. I'm just playing. I'm not going to put his age on there.
He's 76.
But Jason gave me tequila for Christmas, and I actually saved it. I do have a gun on the table today, but it's filled with tequila or Mexican coffee. Same thing. So we're going to start off by taking a shot to Jason. Now we've already got him poured. You guys need salt?
I'm good.
You guys good? All right. Well,
I only need the little bit of support that comes from a lime.
Do we have to keep our tequila socially distanced? Is this like?
Oh yeah, don't touch my glass. Yeah, don't touch. But cheers, guys. Happy birthday.
Here's to me.
That's terrible. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually pretty good. It's not bad.
That wasn't bad.
Kind of hurts a little bit. It's fine. Do you ever do this? I hate this before we get into anything. I've been listening to a lot of stuff in editing myself, teaching myself. I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate it. I feel like I sound like a special needs pig that smoked for 40 years.
When you first start out podcasting, especially if you're editing your own show, you have to get over that hump real fast because it's the absolute worst thing in the world to listen to.
I've accepted the fact that when I hear that nails scratching on chalkboard sound that is my voice, I've just come to the reality of accepting that that's how I sound.
See, but I sound way different in my head.
Yeah, exactly. In my head, I sound different, and it's not even since I started a podcast. I've thought this for anything I've ever recorded, from comedy sets to even before I did comedy. I hate the sound of my voice. I feel like I sound like an idiot. But here it is, everybody. We're here. This is what I sound like.
This is us.
You've somehow made this decision despite hating your voice. That's
maybe I'll talk funny. Like this from now. No, I don't.
That is better.
Is it better? So Miles, indeed, I don't know. I've waited tables before, and I've always wanted to walk up, and I've actually done. I got fired from a lot of places, but I walked up to a table of ladies, and I was like, ladies. She was like, manager, get a manager.
We would just do weird accents, not anything crazy, but when I waited tables, we just dare each other to be like, yeah, do it with a French accent or something, and it would be a really bad no.
Oh, oui.
Yeah.
And then considering if it was as bad as possible, do you still ride it all the way out? I mean, what if those people are there for not a regular 20-minute table? What if they're there for an hour and a half?
Keep in mind, when you do a French accent, you have to rub an old baguette under your arms.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely the style.
Yeah, that's where you get that French custard.
Oh, did you say French fries?
Oui, oui.
Oh, man. Anyways, Miles, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, dude. I'm excited to chat with you fellas, especially on your birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a fun episode. And Miles does have his own podcast. You guys should check it out. It's the Best Darn Diddly Review Show. Very interesting topic to me. I really like what he does for his podcast. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your podcast is about?
So I describe my podcast as a week-by-week journey through The Simpsons. So every week we cover a new episode in chronological order. So we being my best friend, he's my college roommate. His name's Richie, the Whiz Kid Shrestler. He's my co-host every week, and we've done this now for a little over 3 years. So we haven't missed a week yet, and we're about halfway through season 9.
Are you guys going in sequential order from start to finish?
Sequential order the entire way through. And then we've been real fortunate that I've, through the magic of Twitter, man, just randomly reaching out to people and having real good success. I've had some really cool people on the show, including some Simpsons writers and showrunners that are both currently working for the show. And then somebody like Mike Reese. Recently had Bill Oakley on the show. Both those guys are influential in the early years of The Simpsons, and like I said, we're on season 9 right now, so we're right towards the tail end of what people consider to be the golden age, which I just did the finger things on a podcast, but the golden age of
why you
of the
little
Simpsons. Yeah, exactly.
I think though too, some of these new episodes are just as good, and I love The Simpsons. Of course, there's the theories of them predicting things like Trump's election and other stuff, which I think is crazy. But people say, the golden age, or people say you can compare to Metallica. They'll say everything before the Black Album, which honestly, some of my favorite shit is on Load, Reload, stuff like that. But I like some of these newer Simpsons episodes. I think are really funny. Some of them, kind of like Family Guy, I think they drag things on, or it gets too ridiculous for me. But
it's been on for 32 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stay funny and relevant like all the time for that long. So there's obviously going to be some lower rated episodes in there. But like, to your point, I wanted to shout out real quick. Carolyn Omine, she's a current writer on the show. She was actually one of my first like celebrity guests on the podcast. An amazing woman, really, really cool. She just got Kevin Smith on The Simpsons this last Sunday, like just like a week ago tomorrow. Dude, it's a really funny episode. It brings Kevin Smith, who's someone I really admire, into the Simpsons world, and like she was a big part. She wrote the episode, and she, I think, is responsible for making that happen. And to your point of like, it's that just came out this week, and it's an absolutely hilarious episode.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Just out of curiosity, who's your favorite Simpsons character?
If you're going just like with the family, I always say as a kid, Bart Simpson was absolutely my idol. So he's always got a special place in my heart. But like the older I get, the more I am definitely becoming like Homer.
Did you have something?
Aren't we all? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had a question that was kind of with the current times. So, have you guys already done the Michael Jackson episode?
Yes.
Are you going to go ahead and pull that?
No.
From your lineup?
No.
No.
Man, I don't know how much you want to get into all that, but like, first of all, I don't think Michael Jackson's guilty. I'm gonna say it, man. I'm gonna say it. I think that I know it's a bad situation. I don't really.
It's a very bad situation.
It's a fucked up thing, but man, I don't think he's guilty, man, and I don't think I'm like blinded by my fandom because I have like a lot of respect for Michael Jackson. I grew up, I listened to his music, but like, I would, like, if I legitimately thought the dude did it, like, I would not just be like, but he's such a good artist, we should ignore this terrible thing. But I legitimately really don't think he did it.
Like, just out of curiosity, so we gotta fucking talk about this. I'm like choked up, I gotta pour another shot. So when you say you think he's innocent or not guilty, allegedly, do you think that these kids or these people that are adults now, do you think they're making up everything they're saying about him, like jerking off and staring at their butthole? And sorry for the spoiler, but you should have known by now. But anyways,
I meant he's not guilty from that traffic infraction he had in 1993. I don't know what y'all are even referring to. Right? Honestly though,
like, he probably wasn't speeding with the pills he was on. He was going too slow.
No, the truth is, if I'm wrong, I'm an asshole, and that's terrible, and I would never want to, like, victim blame anybody, but the truth is, I think the people that have gone after Michael have clearly a lot to gain from these allegations, and there's a lot of stuff, if you look in the past with, his previous accuser, it turned out, later admitted that his stepfather essentially demanded him to go and make those accusations in court, and he later came back out and was like, no, Michael never touched me, my stepdad wanted to make a payday, and that's how I was going to do it. So,
was this one of the ones from the show that just came out a few months ago, or is...
No, this was a different person.
one?
It was mentioned, but only very briefly on that documentary.
Okay. So, like, I get that, but if there's like one, and that's a situation, I get it. And I'm not saying whether I believe he's guilty or not guilty, because honestly, I just saw there were some dudes talking about Michael Jackson staring at the butthole while he jacks off.
Well, you sure insinuated if you thought.
But it seems... I'm saying...
Actually, I thought you meant like it was like a personal experience with the detail that you included.
Dude, I wish I'd be fucking paid. I'd already be through the first round of money, and I'd be on the show that just came out trying to get my second
Janet
check.
touched me too.
Yeah. And also his wife, she came in too, and I was like, "What the fuck, lady?"
I saw Tito standing in the hallway looking.
They didn't let him in though. But no,
I'm so glad this is going to be the podcast that when I make it in comedy one day is going to be the thing that like gets me killed.
Cancel! Yeah. Boo this man!
He's not welcome here.
Miles Francis, more like get Miles away from me, asshole. Oh, you just went and took that shot. Didn't even wait for us. Well,
shit! I thought you said we were going solo on the next round. I'm fucking.
No, you're good. I'll just take another one. That's fine.
Time to catch up.
Cheers.
There you go.
My bad.
Cheers to me.
Belated
Happy
cheers.
birthday. It's the whole not shaking hands thing, man. It's just completely screwed over, like, my whole concept of, like, normal social function.
Yeah, I get that. But back to the Michael Jackson thing, like, I get if there's, like, one person, but there's multiple people, like, and they have either they got together and straightened their stories out, but they're all saying basically, from what I saw, I couldn't watch the whole thing because I just got so horny. No, I'm just playing. No, but don't stop till you get enough, dude. No, but the thing is, like, they all said that basically he stared at their starfish while he jade himself off. And it's kind of a big fucking coincidence that they all have that same experience to share. But I mean, hey, your opinion is your opinion. Whether I agree with you or not, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong or right.
I totally, like, especially with the nature of this, like, I'm definitely one of those where if, like, I felt like somebody showed me the evidence or whatever, and I don't want to, like, debate people because I don't, honestly, at the end of the day, think it's going to affect our, like, day-to-day interaction. If anything happened to those people, I feel bad for them, and it's sad, but ultimately, I think Michael Jackson is just more of a weird dude than he is a criminal.
Definitely a weird dude. He turned himself into an opaque salamander, basically.
Like an alien.
Yeah, you can see right through him. His blood is blue on that side. But no, yeah. But the thing is, I was just gonna say something about Michael Jackson. The thing that makes it kind of fishy, and like I try to see both perspectives. You know, like what my opinion is and what someone else's is. I try to put myself in that situation, and I can see the fishy part is like, okay, they all have the same story, but there was no video. I mean, there's no video of him doing this. There's no actual hard evidence. And either he's really fucking smart and he knew not to make a video, or two, he just didn't have time to get a video out, or three, he didn't do it. I mean, there's a few, I'm sure I can go down the line and make up all kinds of options for that argument. But that is very, it's a very big coincidence that they all just, he stared at my butthole and jacked off.
It's a fucked up situation regardless, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you covered the Trump episode on The Simpsons yet?
No. That's the one where Lisa is the president and Donald Trump, or she's basically like talks about we have to get out of the deficit that Trump left us with. I'm struggling to remember what episode that actually is in. I just know it's a flash forward future glimpse.
It's upcoming though.
Yeah, I think you're getting close.
It should be, I think, in like season 10 or 11-ish.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what episode it is, but it's in this.
Well, I remember, like, you know, because I've been watching The Simpsons the entire time it's been out. I mean, is it like the longest running series?
It actually just
it's the very longest running.
Or it passed up Gunsmoke, I want to say, was the thing that held it before that. Okay. I might be wrong on that, but like that was within the last 12 months. I think.
And I remember so if I was like, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 when they started, which could tell you how old I am today.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, thanks again. And another shot is coming. And I feel like about 10 years into it was when I remembered seeing that too. So like right about in the neighborhood of when I was like just past 21, 22, 23.
So that makes sense. So Simpsons started December of 89, and I'm currently in season 9, and we're right in like 1998. So what you'd be talking about would be like 98 to 2000.
Timeline matches up.
Man, we got ourselves some synchronicity right here.
Nice.
Synchronicity.
I can already tell you got a follower.
Hell yeah,
I can listen and talk about Simpsons all day long.
Well, dude, then I'll definitely. I'll get you on the show, man. I definitely. I book guests all the time. In fact, I have an episode coming out with some comedians. Recorded yesterday. It'll come out next Sunday. It's with Tom Murphy, who I know a lot of people in our community.
I love Tom Murphy. That dude's funny. I actually want to get him on here too. It's just the way he's like a Muppet came to life.
That's how I describe him.
But it's awesome. He's like a crazy scientist.
David Diaz, who's another great dude. He runs the open mic over there at the Addison Improv, and really funny guy. They came on to talk about the episode where Krusty becomes a stand-up comedian, very much like Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
And Canyon Arrow.
Yeah.
It's great.
It looks like, I looked it up, season 11, episode 17, Bart to the Future.
Boom.
Is that episode right there. Let me ask, I have some other Simpsons questions, just like basic. I'm sure you've answered these before, but you haven't done it here, so.
Hell yeah, man.
But, so you said Bart is your favorite character. Who would you want? Would that be the same character you would want to be? Like if you had to be a Simpsons character?
Ooh, if I had to.
Because I picture you as more of like an Otto.
Dude, Otto definitely.
Yeah.
Otto is definitely like my spirit animal, so to speak. I don't know if you can say that.
I like in the movie when they pan to him and the world's ending and he's sitting on the bus. He's like, "What?"
Smoking a bong.
Who is that? Who you would choose though, Otto? Or who
Oh
would you
man,
choose?
if the question is like, who do I think I would
To
be
be,
like,
to
or
be.
who I would want to be?
Who would
Which
you want to
character
be?
would you
Because I mean, dude, like, there's at least a part of me that can't say that Mr. Burns would be a terrible choice with all that money, but Krusty the Clown,
Krusty the Crown's what happens on your dick.
We're all comedians to some extent. We're putting ourselves out there at this point to try to get it on. If somebody offered me a TV show and I had to put makeup on for it, fuck yeah, dude.
So Mr. Burns is your choice.
No, I'm saying I'm debating, like, you could say that's a lot of money. I would probably honestly pick Krusty over Mr. Burns.
Krusty. I like how shady Krusty is. That's because I'm a shady
sells out
person
like crazy,
too.
dude.
And I love it. I like that. I think I'd probably be Mo because I'm that cynical. I can see myself as a Mo or Krusty. And also, the one I probably see myself the most as is Snake. Snake is the criminal that
Dude,
has
honestly,
the little
you
son.
could play, like, you could do a Snake, like, cosplay or, like, Halloween costume.
I could. I have the hair.
Yeah,
I have the
you
hair
could.
for it.
100%
Yeah.
Snake, man.
That or also, I feel like I'm or Tony Montana's character. The what's the mob boss? What's his name?
Fat Tony?
Fat Tony, yeah. I could be a Fat Tony. I like when they're like rolling someone up in a carpet and Quimby's like, nothing to see here.
On the payroll.
If I'm being honest too, I'm like just a few pizza rolls away from being a comic book guy. So, I've even got the ponytail.
Dude, real quick, I have to interject this story, and you know this, Jason, but when I first started playing guitar, there was a music store like literally at the end of our street, and the guy looked just like comic book guy, but at maybe 20 years older. He was that huge and fat, and he was lazy. I went in there one time to get something simple like a string or a cord. I think it was a broken string. I needed a new one. But anyways, it was right there behind the counter, and he's sitting in his chair, and I think he's stuck to it. I don't think he can get up. But I'm like, hey, yeah, can I get one of those right there? And he goes, literally, and me and Jason make fun of this. He goes, and that's him trying to get up, and then he just sits back and goes, just come back here and get it yourself. And then I had to go behind the counter with this guy and come in close.
Clerk ever.
He's like, it's just right there. Go get it yourself.
Who would you be, Jason? Who would be your choice for a character?
Well,
If you're drinking tequila, it's going to be Barney Gumble.
Yeah, I'm a few shots of tequila away from Barney, to be honest with you. But no, I would. I feel like I would want to say that I would be, Homer, one of the flagship people. I'm not as dumb as Homer, but I
Well, let us be the judge of that.
fair enough.
Are you more of a dumb Homer or a jerk ass Homer?
It would be the jerk, for sure. Ask
I could see
anyone.
that.
Ask anyone.
I
The
can
jerk-
show you
the
text from
jerk
today
part.
alone that will prove that.
But I fear that if I got dropped into the Simpsons kingdom, I would be Sideshow Bob.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say, Sideshow Bob is one of my favorite characters. I love that he's voiced by Kelsey Grammer, and I love that character. I love the Sideshow Bob episodes. Those are some of my
I just
favorite.
feel like what I bring to the table would possibly get cooped up in a cage and just only saved for special episodes.
Okay.
So that would be my luck. That's luck.
You honestly creeped me out with your lean in when you came in. Like, he came in with a lean up and like an eyebrow raise as he's like, what I bring to the table is reserved for special episodes.
Which means he eats people's skin. That's what that means.
Yeah.
An eyebrow
I'll
raise.
put the lotion on, bro. Chill.
An eyebrow raise lets you know I mean business. So yeah.
Well, lotion or marinade, same thing when you're Buffalo Bill. Oh man, that's really cool. So let's move on to some other stuff. Getting to know you, Miles. How long have you been doing stand-up comedy? I know you did improv before for a few years, but how long have you been doing actual stand-up, which I actually consider to be art?
Fair. I actually just celebrated my 1 year open mic anniversary on March 11th.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congrats.
man. It's real cool, dude. Honestly, I know everyone's bummed out right now because of the whole, virus thing and everything's shut down. And I had talked to you about this, but like I was actually on my way for my very first out-of-state show. I was going to perform at the Looney Bin in Little Rock, Arkansas. And that show is canceled. And like I'm bummed because like I've developed a reputation as like a pot comic somehow. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I know, right?
You guys find Miles Francis' Instagram and tell me if he looks like a clean-cut, tax-paying citizen.
But like I had several gigs booked in April to host like 420 events and whatnot, and like I'm just kind of like feeling a little crushed with the whole comedy situation right now, but I'm so happy to have this podcast to come and like scratch this itch.
I'm so glad that we started one because it gives me still a chance to talk for an hour straight when people don't want to hear it. But
you were doing it with the draws.
Yeah, I really was. I was just in here talking. My roommates were like, "Fuck, put something in front of his door. Don't let him out."
You were calling me a lot.
Yeah, I know, and you don't fucking answer. I'll text or call, but I'd rather call. But what I was going to say is, you look like you host 420 events year round, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think you have to worry about that. He got his hair stuck in his shoe a minute ago. It's so long. No, it's not that.
It gets tied into laces once in a while.
But
never double knot.
But yeah, same here. I mean, I'm sad too. There's no telling how long until we can actually get on stage and people can come together for it. And like I mean, of course, like every other comic, I don't sit here and complain about all I've lost or whatever.
Way worse.
Way worse.
Dude.
I mean,
not gonna sit here and cry.
The one cool thing I'm sad about is I was gonna go with this headliner, good friend of mine. Won't mention his name. That's how good of a friend he is because I don't want to ruin his shit by saying his name. But he was gonna let me come feature for him, do the middle act, the 30-minute set in the middle at the Blue Room in Missouri in Springfield, and that's a great club. They got a lot of great comics that come through. They're like good up and comers and good established, funny, hilarious comics. And they haven't said it's canceled, but it's canceled. It's canceled. Right? Like, we're all fucking canceled.
I haven't officially gotten word that most of my events are canceled, but it's like, okay.
You know,
everything's on TBD.
Yeah. Don't show up. Especially that's like 7 hours away.
I'm definitely not getting paid for that.
Yeah, no.
And they're probably like, we're not paying you.
Right.
If you do, just come here.
Yeah, no. In fact, don't speak. Get away. Don't come back after this is over. No, but yeah, that's great. So you're a year into comedy. And, like, what's your favorite style of jokes? Do you like more storytelling, or do you like more, like, short, fun jokes, or puns, wordplay?
Definitely more on the verge of storytelling. I like to be very just personable, and, like, admittedly, the beginning of most of my jokes are very true and close to home, and then most of them, of course, are completely fucking lies. But, they all kind of start relatively grounded to just things that have happened in my life or things that I observe to be funny in the world, and I definitely think I have a bit of a unique perspective sometimes with just the way I choose to live my life at times, but I don't really do a lot of one-liners. I'm nervous as hell about just riffing on this topic later, but I'm sure I've got a fun story to find that'll relate to it.
Yeah. Well, it's good, and I try to make it easy and have a few topics, and just, we'll get to that in a bit and I'll explain. But there's always a shot at redemption. But anyways, you got a question, Jason? Or
yeah, so that kind of builds into a question that I just had originally. So, have you ever had a joke or a bit backfire on you?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, everyone has.
Yeah.
I have a joke that I absolutely adore. I think it's hilarious, and every once in a while there'll be like 2 people that agree with me. But universally
most
across the board, it's like just completely sucks the energy out of the room. Long story short, I donate my hair to children with hair loss, like kids that lose their hair for various medical reasons. They make wigs out of my hair.
That's a good way to get them high without selling them weed.
Yeah, dude, like none of my fucking donated cancer kids can pass a drug test. But like, if they take a hair follicle, they are fucked.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm not going to help you get a job, but I will help you look good.
Because if you don't look good.
Yeah, I mean, that's half the battle. But no, I do a joke about that being a get out of hell free card. And that part usually gets a little bit of a laugh, but if I build on it any further, which I like to do, and basically blame God for killing all the kids with cancer in the first place, tends to suck the energy right out of the room. But I've toyed with it a few times. I've tried to tweak it. I realize I'm not trying to like insult people, and it obviously comes off as very insulting. I do feel like there's humor there. I just feel like I, as a comic, need to keep getting better so that I can extract that in a more nuanced way.
So just to be clear, Michael Jackson, innocent, God guilty. Right? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it.
Perfect.
You heard it here first.
All right, so we're canceled too. Bye.
I have that effect on podcasts.
No, but I feel what you're saying. I have so many jokes like that I love. And they just don't come across. Like, a couple people agree. When people like that joke, they fucking love it.
Love it.
But when it doesn't work, it doesn't work by any means. Like, I have one joke that barely gets a laugh, and it's so short, and I'll just say what it is. And I love this, and I think it's smart. But I say, and this is just a joke, but I say all my roommates are stoners. I don't complain because I sell weed.
I like that joke.
Yeah,
self-sustaining economy.
And yeah, that's what I say. I was like, we're like a self-sustaining economy, which I think makes perfect sense. I think that's funny, and it just gets a ha. And then
I'm always in the back of the room going, and then like being like, oh, I'm part of that economy.
That's what I feel like there's more people that are part of that ecosystem than they care to admit, and that's probably why it's just like I don't want to put too much of a spotlight.
It's basically like telling a joke about something that happened like with your friends in your living room.
Yeah, exactly. I call those geography jokes that you had to be there. I'm douchey. But yeah, when I do that joke too, I feel like a lot of people are scared to laugh because they probably just bought an eighth for me in the parking lot. No.
Or they want to, and now they're just like, wait, is he serious? Because you're not a cop,
I'm confused.
I have $35. No, but I do that too. Like when people interrupt me, I try to, because you've had hecklers. And you can turn the whole crowd against you by being too mean. So I try to.
You know where I host.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not even going to say the name on here because I don't want to associate it with anything with me.
We're all better off.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's easier to be like I have a line where I'll be like, someone will keep heckling and like I'll try to ignore it, especially when you're hosting and you can't do crowd work. But sometimes it's weird if you don't address it. So I'll just be like, hey man, I'm at work right now. I'm like in the middle of a meeting. I'll sell you some grams after the show. Hit me up, but shut up for now.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
It's like if you sell weed and you're a server, like most servers, like like you don't hit them up while you're like waiting tables. You're like, can I talk to you when you get off? Like,
yeah.
It's just common courtesy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or just let's go in here and eat some frozen shit out of the freezer, and I'll sell you an eighth real quick. You can't smell anything. Yeah, I used to. Me and Jason both our first jobs we have, and this is before we even knew each other. But both of our first jobs were working at Burger King, and we both talk about going in the freezer and eating a bunch of pocket nuggets and Hershey's pies. Those chocolate Hershey's pies, so funny.
Those were the good old days before the virus. You can't do pocket nuggets anymore, kids. That's just the way to spread things.
I'm just not going to share them. I'm still going to do it.
I mean, as long as you just keep them for yourself, you're fine.
No sharing your pocket nugs.
Did you have something on that?
I kind of did. I just are you big on social media? Like, do you keep up with all your social media?
Actually, you can find him. His website is MrMostDaysOff.com. You can search Mr. Most Days Off on Instagram, Twitter also.
Twitter's
all that?
actually my favorite of the bunch, to be honest.
I need to learn how to tweet. I'm so
Twitter's
bad.
the only one that I actually had by like choice, I guess, for lack of a better word. The Instagram and Facebook I got simply because I pretty much could not get booked without it. Like. As much as I hated to like get involved with Facebook, like I had to because there's so much booking that occurs through Facebook Messenger and like just getting yourself out there with people. It's all about networking, and unfortunately, Facebook is the way to do that. But like Twitter, I have fun with because you can just make little jokes and get to know people in a really casual way. I get really annoyed with Facebook and Instagram, if I'm being completely honest. But I do like connecting with people, so there is that.
So that leads into the question.
Before you ask the question, because I want to attack on to what he said.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But I'm like with Twitter. The thing is, I tweet like once a year maybe because I go on Twitter and I try to like view people's comments or retweet something or share something. And I get confused like an old man, and then I just close Twitter and go to Instagram and post a story or post a picture of my pancake or whatever.
Like almost you want to ask someone, like, "Am I doing this wrong?"
Yeah, I've literally Googled the question "how to Twitter" like an old man. Let me get on the tweet book, and I have no idea. I just get frustrated, so I'm building my Instagram numbers.
So my question ended up building exactly from Twitter. It's ironic how you're like, whatever on social media.
I reread your notes and questions before we started here.
Perfect.
Today.
So well prepared. Okay, I leave my phone laying around. So just for fun, since it is so casual on Twitter, have you ever found that you were doing like a bit or something funny or just putting something funny out there and your Twitter fingers got you in trouble or something backfired? Or
I mean, dude, Twitter has been so good to me, honestly. Like, Twitter, like I said earlier, Twitter is the way I was able to connect with a lot of like the really cool people I've had on my show. Just by reaching out, tagging them, complimenting them, asking if it's okay if I message them, and just like going through those steps, like it's connected me to way more positive than negative, but of course, with any online presence, there's always going to be the negative side. I'll actually say this. I never for a joke on Twitter. I've never really been burned for a joke on Twitter, to be honest. Like, I've got stuff that's had absolutely no response, but I've never had anything with, like, a real harsh negative backlash. However, this might be just another thing I can piss some people off with. I'm also a big wrestling fan.
We know that. Yeah, God guilty, Michael Jackson. Of course, Bret Michaels.
Why are we not hanging out?
Yeah, dude.
Both big wrestling fans. I haven't been into wrestling since I've been into big boy pants and not diapers. But no, I mean, I used to love wrestling, Royal Rumble and all that. But I knew you. I could tell by looking at you. Yeah, you definitely. Who's your favorite wrestler? Just
of all time or currently?
All time.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chug him, fuck him. What about you, Jason? Who's your favorite?
Oh, no, you're good, dude.
It's going to be the Heartbreak Kid.
Oh,
Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah,
Shin music, baby.
And that makes total sense because you're just a little bit older. I'm 34, and I think you're just a little bit older than me based on our conversation that we had about The Simpsons earlier.
It's his birthday. We say a little bit older.
So
I'm stopping at this age.
Yeah. But Shawn Michaels was like the champion while you were like right into your peak.
I saw Shawn Michaels when he started with the Rockers with Marty Jannetty,
and then you saw his rise to the top, and then Stone Cold is the person that took the title from Shawn and was kind of like the next thing at WrestleMania 15. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I got myself in trouble with was the most controversial topic in wrestling, and that's Chris Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
So, what, like, just to clear the, like, that...
Don't worry, we're not going to do all wrestling.
Oh, no, it's a fact. It happened.
No, I'm just going to say, like, it's a terrible, awful, criminal...
He didn't kill himself.
No, it's a terrible, awful thing that happened, all that, but... All I like to point out is essentially that I really feel like he's a great case to look at for CTE and the
absolutely,
effects that can have that. And I made a statement about that, and some group of people got on me, and like all night long, it was just like, "You are a complete piece of shit. I hope you die. I hope you get cancer."
Why? What were they mad about?
Because I was defending that monster.
Defending him.
It's
not defending him to say that he probably, definitely, most likely, 100,000% had some sort of CTE from slamming each other with chairs, being slammed on the ring, a million other hits to the head and kicks to the face that you take. It's still a terrible thing. Not saying that he was justified or anything. It's just, the fact is, he most likely had CTE, of course.
Oh, big time. And
of course,
as
years
just so you
of
know, as a rational-minded person, I think you're going to do terribly on the internet.
Oh yeah, I know. I only post like stuff about farts and eating pancakes and shit like that online.
Because it seems like the people that were attacking me were just getting like people are blowing up at it, and it's like again, I like blatantly put out there. It's like what he did is absolutely awful.
People are gonna be triggered no matter what. You know how this day and age, and I think it's starting to come back around. But no matter what you do, you're gonna piss some people off. And you know what? If you want to make an omelet, you got to kill some strangers. I always say that. I always say it doesn't taste as good unless you got that nectar in there. But yeah, I think he definitely had some CTE issues, and like I said, not condoning what he did. That's fucking terrible. Wish he would have got some help. Feel terrible for his family and the loved ones he left alive. We should go kill them too.
Of course.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's the real moral of this story.
No, but that's terrible that happened, and I don't like that at all.
Have you you've been watching obviously with no audience?
So I have not been watching the live event. The last event I watched was the pay-per-view or whatever they're called now.
It was the Women's Day. Was the last pay-per-view.
Okay. So I missed that one. I watched the Elimination Chamber and the.
That was Elimination Chamber. Oh no, they had Elimination, but it's the women's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was National Women's Day, and it was all-female. You're right, and that's the event that I watched last.
Yeah.
I keep up with it mostly on Twitter, and then I watch the major events.
So you know WrestleMania is supposed to be.
WrestleMania is a mess. I think they actually started taping matches for it today.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's been horrible without. It's just not the same.
It's not the same. It's a live performance art that's been converted for TV, and they're trying to just make it a TV show, and it just is. It isn't the same. And how are you going to do WrestleMania with no crowd?
I just thought that if they were going to, of course, be into the element of just it's all about TV production now, I thought that they would maybe have more like bells and whistles and maybe just a little bit more visuals and just like the TV magic and stuff like that. But they're just still keeping it as empty chair.
One of the wrestlers should get a little green alien that it talks to that like gives it like guidance when it's having like a moral dilemma.
Oh yeah, we should all go just get a little green alien. We should go do that.
Stranger things have happened.
And I have two thoughts. One, I thought about this. I was trying to brainstorm ways to still do comedy because I'm an addict and I'll drive 16 hours to make $100 and spend more than that getting there. But what if they...
That's just in drugs.
Yeah, exactly. and what I'm saying is, like, one option I thought of in my stoned mind, I was thinking maybe if they did it where, like, after this opened, the economy opens back up, what if I rented, like, a small space and started my own comedy club? Or somebody did. I don't have any fucking money. But if they did it where the place only seats, like, 49, but the other option was... do it normal, like without people there though. And what you do is the crowd that they want to be there, they purchase a link to FaceTime and they just put a bunch of monitors up in front of you instead of people in chairs.
Like that episode of Community where they put tablets on walkers.
Yes, exactly. You do that, but then you hook those tablets up to a bunch of like these little Bluetooth speakers. That way you can hear people's laughter.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the closest and cleanest way to do it. I don't know if that would work, if there's a time lapse.
Dude, that really feels like the start to an episode of like Black
Mirror. Yeah, that's what the person I pitched that to, that's what they said. And I was like, well, it's not a bad fucking show.
I'm not saying that it's even a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure that's a season 5 episode in development right now.
Probably.
I hope it's a choose your own adventure because they haven't done enough of those.
Yeah, they did the one. It was fucking great. My other thought is I wanted to say my favorite wrestler, and Jason I know has waited on this person when he lived in Clearwater, Hulk Hogan. I'm a Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah, dude.
My favorite Hulk Hogan thing is on that show.
Things that are reprehensible.
Well, let me ask you.
Innocent.
Let me ask you this thing.
Didn't do it. Not his cock.
Now, do you like yellow and red Hulk Hogan? Take your vitamins, Hulk Hogan, or
let me get to that.
All right.
My favorite quote about Hulk Hogan is on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, one of my favorite shows, if not my very favorite, where they say, "Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan, skin of a hot dog, hair of a Chinaman." Their words, not mine. I know that's offensive to Chinamen, but hey, maybe Hulk Hogan is offended by you. You know, I mean, who's to say?
Other hot dogs textured skin men might be.
Maybe the entire sausage community. Really.
Yeah, no, those are hot dogs. Those pink lips, those big old pink soup coolers. Those are hot dogs right there. But yeah, but anyways, enough of the wrestling. We'll move on to the next stuff here. Do you have any other questions for Miles, comedy wise? You're just gonna focus on smoking that joint right now?
That's it.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday! We should do another shot here. I'll go ahead and pour mine. But let me see. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's move on. We'll do the open mic part of the podcast for this, and I set this up every time. What we do for the open mic part is we ask that you don't use any of your material that you already do on stage. So we'll just riff on stuff. So what we're going to do is, I have a topic or a few topics for you I can bring up. You'll riff on them, or if you have a story or you just want to talk about that topic and try to make it funny or whatever, go ahead. And then if I have anything that comes up, I can chime in with something. But then also, you bring me a topic, and you can confirm right now, I don't know what you have for me, right?
No idea.
Perfect. And I don't know what you have for me.
You said that already.
Neither of us have any prior
I'm like a few
knowledge.
shots in, and
We're
I've been
both a
smoking
little
this
drunk.
ball.
We're definitely high.
I'm
and
holding
this is
a
probably
gun.
not going to be funny. So.
Yeah. Well, it never is anyway, so it's just in line with everything. I'm also holding a gun filled with tequila.
It's pointed right at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're all about to take a shot, so
Talk about being on
there's
the
a pun
spot,
there
bro.
somewhere.
There's a pun there somewhere.
Hold on a
for
second.
sure.
I need a drink of water. My mouth is dry, and we'll take this shot. But yeah, so
Do
what do
you have an extra bottle of water I can grab? Is that I don't want to. Thank you. You
Oh,
rock.
nice, right there.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Kind of took the one I wanted, but all right, fuck you. No, I'm just playing. No, but
You want to share it? I'm kidding.
Hey, actually, you can pour some of yours into my empty bottle before
if
you drink
you want
out
to
of
go
it.
with that, surgeon, I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
But
I'll do
social distancing is supposed to keep the tips of those 6 feet away.
Oh, we won't touch tips. I mean, normally, and it's not that I wouldn't touch your tip, or touch my tip to your tip.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I would. I'm not. Somebody's asked me the other day, like, "Oh, are you gay?" I'm like, "Well, that's what we'll find out later."
No,
I say that a lot, but
chill.
I don't know. We'll just have some fun.
Yeah.
But so let's take this shot, and then we'll do some open mic.
Happy birthday.
Cheers. You want to go first, or you want me to go first? You want your topic, or you want to give me mine?
You can give me my topic, bro. I'll get this out of the way.
That's been the consensus normally.
I was going to say, I noticed the trend. Nobody wants to. They just want to get it over with.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, what do we
No,
got?
I've been dreading this all week. No, kidding.
Yeah. No, it's easy. I think I got some good ones here, and some specific ones. First, let's start with, what if you woke up and realized you were gay? Like, you woke up and you're like, you know what? I'm gay. I know it. Maybe I have to blow a dude to find out, but I'm gay. What do you do with that? Like, how do you move on? What do you do? Like, you say you woke up today and realized you're gay. What would be your first step?
I don't know, man. I think I'd be pretty successful in the gay community. I mean, like, I get called gay all the time, so, like, I feel like that's got to be a start to something, right?
Right? Hey, it takes friction to make a fire, baby.
That's an interesting question. I honestly feel like I'd be, like, way cooler if I could just, like, wake up as a chick. Like, just, like, you know, even if it was just temporary, like, just to, like... Just because you can learn a lot more about yourself. I feel like as a gay dude, I'm going to be relatively the same. I'm just going to, like, you know, want to put my dick in a different place.
You might be a better dresser also.
Honestly, I don't think... I do often get told I dress like a lesbian. I don't really know what
That's
that
my
means.
joke.
I literally get told that.
Like,
I
get that a lot, too.
Like,
the pompadour, I get told I look like that chick from Orange is the New Black. I used to carry a poster over to show people it's not me.
Not you. Dude, if I sit at a bar and, like, have my back to the room, I will get, like, an offer from a dude to get a drink before too long, and then it'll be one of those, like, turn and, like, oh, and it's just like, am I still good for that IPA, bro?
Well, I mean, I have to say, I mean, from behind, I mean, and in front, you have beautiful hair.
Oh, thank you.
I never noticed the hair. I just stare at your ass.
You know, and that's really, that's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah.
Like, the
of
hair's
course.
a crutch. The ass is what I work on.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just have one thing. It's got to be two or more.
Yeah, really, I was hoping to be a triple threat by my 30s, but hey, maybe by 40.
You know, the real crime is they'll still sell you yoga pants and you can fool the whole world. That's the fucking crime.
Like, yeah, if I just, instead of ordering a beer, like, just switch to Cosmos, like, someone would see that as a cue to, like, get me another one, and I think I'd have even more success.
You might have more, like, long distance, like, hey, grab her that drink over there at the end of the bar.
I was going to slip, like, the part of the bar where the light's out, right above it.
Yeah. Also, tequila burps. Well, also, like, you're married, right? You have a wife. So if you woke up gay, what would you tell your wife? How would you be like, hey, like, I don't know, your words.
Deuces? I don't know.
I feel like that'd be more like deuces. Yeah, she might like you more. You have more in common then.
Yeah, I mean, do I legally have to watch Queer Eye for the straight guy? Because like,
well, you're gay, so yes.
Legally, like, we'll at least have that.
Yeah, by penalty of having you not be gay anymore,
right?
Or go to jail. You're going to jail.
Well, I imagine your wife is probably your best friend, and to a degree.
I mean, we're quarantined together right now, so no.
So I would imagine, you guys could still continue that relationship. It's just...
Yeah, roommates.
Yeah.
About the same, actually.
We probably have more sex. No. Yeah, I mean, I'm
more accessories.
I would wake up and just be like, all right, I'd probably just go back to sleep, to be honest with you. I'd be like, oh,
that's
I don't
what I mean.
care.
Like, dude, like, honestly,
care.
like, if you asked me that question when I was 8, I'd be like, I'm not fucking gay or gay, but, like, that's because I'm of that age, or, like, I mean, that was just the way it was. It was terrible that was, like, making gay people feel bad at the time, but that was the vernacular.
I like watching you backpedal right now.
Yeah, you put 3 tequila shots in me and then, like, talk about controversy. But, like, so, as an 8-year-old, I would have been offended because I was a dumb kid. But it's 2020, dude. Like, gay, straight, you're not a different person. You're just interested in fucking different people.
Yeah. I see that there. Yeah, I mean, when you're 8, you're not. I mean, I hit puberty early, and even at 8, I wasn't thinking about fucking other people. So, yeah. And if you are, I don't know. I kind of want to move away from this topic now. I have one more topic I'll give you real quick, since you're 3 tequila shots in.
We'll just change the rules today.
Yeah. What? Okay, so I'll just give you this topic real quick. Say the N-word. No, I'm just like, I just want to fuck with you real quick.
Yeah, like my butthole just puckered with the sound that you heard on the microphone there.
And if you have that much control, you might already be gay.
Nope.
My ears popped.
I told you I'd be successful at it.
I thought I was going to hear you say something.
It's not a doubt of if I can do it. It's a matter of desire.
Okay, give me a topic. I'm ready.
You know what, man? Like, I know this is a relatively new one, so I would like to hear you just riff on podcasting.
On podcasting, I've done a few other people's episodes and podcasts before I've done this, and a few of them I've done twice, and honestly, and this is the same for like I've filmed some TV stuff. I'm always an extra, or walking around with a gun, or I did a reality show, Texas Flip and Move, where they paired me up with a wife, and we argued on camera, and they liked it so much, they're like, we're using that, and they had me bid on a house where they were like it's an auction, and the auctioneer's like doing his blah 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 whatever, talking fast, and they had me say $60,000. Now we're not actually bidding on the house because I don't have any fucking money. I'm not married to the psychopath who always showed up trying to be a star. But they had me say $60,000. But I was just messing around one time, and I Yosemite Sam'd it. I was like $60,000.
That's the take. That was the take.
And they were like, they made me do 60 takes of that because they were like, dude, let's do it again. That was good. And I did it regularly. And they're like, no. I was like, do it like you did it a minute ago. And I was like, I don't know if I have a good enough mustache for this, but okay. But it's literally like 60 times because planes kept flying over and we're outdoors and they had to do it over.
They wanted that rumble in your voice, like,
60! Yeah, like I'm from Savannah, Georgia. $60,000, sir! And they loved it.
I declare.
But the point is, like, I've never seen that episode, and I've had people come up to me at shows, and even when I bartend during the day at my job, people will come and be like, hey, I saw you on Texas Flip and Move. I've never seen that episode. I've done like 4 episodes of Queen of the South. Never seen it. A lot of other people's podcasts I've done.
Off to that shit. Like, how do you not have a, like? I for whatever reason, I'd keep a VHS copy just in case like this got scratched.
Just in case the producer breaks down in front of your house. He's like, you got a reel?
Yeah.
I do.
Hey,
I do.
You got a VCR?
No, but I haven't. Like I said in the beginning, I hate the sound of my voice, and I like have such low self-esteem. Like for comedy, I can fake the confidence, and it doesn't bother me anymore because I just don't give a shit about myself, I guess. But I don't.
You reach your point.
Yeah, but honestly, I was talking to my roommate last night who also has his own podcast because that's the only way we can survive now because everybody has to have a podcast so we can get our internet
Is that
money.
kind of a waste? Is it kind of a way to tell everybody to just shut the fuck up in the house now?
Yeah. We're podcasting. I'm just masturbating.
3 times in a day, Mike?
I come out and they're like, where's everybody else? I'm like, they weren't here. Like, I heard other voices. I'm like, I was doing other voices.
This dude's content production is amazing.
No, but I was talking to him about it. I like doing this a lot. I like it's hard like figuring out all the stuff because I'm trying to be self-sustaining and do it on my own, just like my stay-at-home career. No, but I like doing it though. I have an addictive personality and I've been obsessed with like editing clips and like you hearing the same thing over and over. It's like droning, kind of gives you a headache or drives you crazy. But I do like it, and I thought it would be harder for me to fill the time. That's why we're doing like hour-long episodes. But I just realized, oh yeah, if somebody gives me something to talk about, I'll never shut the fuck up. So I'm really enjoying it. They're probably all shit, and tens of people are upset with me at the moment. Yeah, one day maybe I'll have dozens if I buy enough ads on Instagram. And, I don't know. I'm thinking about just taking pictures of chicks' butts and paying them to let me post it for the Instagram page.
That seems like a successful strategy, honestly.
Yeah, or not paying.
You know what? I was wrong. You're going to do great on the internet.
That's how I do. And I will say, Instagram butts drive me nuts. I mean, that can't be just me. I know you guys have
in a good way or like in an annoying way?
In a great way.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't know if you meant that as like a bumper sticker statement or if like you're just like, man, I'm just trying to look at my friends' dogs and babies and these girls' asses. Just keep distracting me.
I'll tell you, dude, on Instagram, and I know we're going off subject here, but I followed the Suicide Girls, and I had to unfollow them. I had to unfollow them because for like 4 months I got nothing done.
You're just like occupied.
I know. I'm done. I'm busy.
And when you're telling your grandchildren about the story, like those are going to be the best months of your life.
Oh yeah.
Which you don't realize now.
I still follow them. But the thing is, I like the Suicide Girls on Instagram because if you you can hold a picture with both fingers and zoom in, you can see a little something down there.
What?
Yeah. Sometimes,
you
depending on the pose.
My evening plans.
I told this to my friend, and he goes, "You can just get on Reddit and see him naked for free." And I was like, "Look, dude, I know that. Okay, like I know that. I can find naked pictures of whoever. But the thing is, I don't want to eat fish. I want to catch fish. Doesn't it taste better when you catch your own fish?" So I was just like, "Yeah." But I'm thinking about unfollowing the Suicide Girls.
I like how that started with I unfollowed to it, so I'm thinking that's good stuff.
Yeah, I lied.
It's fair. And I mean,
I said I was going to unfollow them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I lost a relationship, a car, and a house so far, but they're still on Instagram for free.
They'll stay for you. They won't leave.
Yeah.
They're not
They'll
gonna
be there
leave.
just as much as before. They'll be there during like quarantine too. Like
Yeah, I
you
just
still
wish-
have the same relationship.
I just wish their brand would hire me just to be like, I don't know, it's an easy job. Like maybe I could just be someone's bikini bottoms. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Just that simple.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm more of a top.
Wait, is this back to your gay question?
We all have a gay question burning inside, don't we?
It's a cry for help.
Yeah, help me. But yeah, what was the subject you gave me?
Talking for a really long time?
Yeah, the podcasting. Yeah, but no, I like podcasting, and yeah, it's fun. I do. Let me see. I have another. I just the question. If you don't have a story or whatever, that's fine.
That's cool, dude.
But do you have anything? Any stories about snakes? What do you think about snakes?
Snakes. Oh man.
I like the face you made. You made that same face when you're expecting something to be sweet and it was tart.
I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting you to say the word snakes. Like that
Yeah.
was just
Nobody likes. I mean, people obviously like
They're not
snakes,
great.
but fuck that.
No,
Yeah.
they're not great. I don't particularly care for them because like I just assume they're poisonous. Like I know there's ways to tell if they're poisonous or not, but I don't know them. So
Yeah.
if
Just
I
safe
see
to
a
say-
snake, I'm going to assume it's the most dangerous snake that could possibly encounter in this
Yeah.
situation.
For me, like, I've known people that have snakes, and growing up, my cousin had a snake, and, like, the thing is, this was, like, in the 90s. I would go over to his house, and there's no cell phone, I'm not texting him, he doesn't know I'm coming. And I'd knock on the door, and I'd be like, hey, it's Mike, and he's like, come in. And he's only, like, a year or two younger than me, and he had a pet snake, a little boa constrictor, and he would be in the corner of the room, haunched with a snake, like, just in both hands, just ready to, like, launch it. And I'd walk in, and he's hunched in the corner. I'm like, how long have you been standing there? You didn't know I was
like
coming.
spooning your steak, bro.
Yeah, he's just like hunched there, like hunkered down in a stance, and then he'd just drop the snake gently, and the snake would always slither over to me, and I'd just leave. I'd just step back out the door.
Bye.
Yeah, see,
go.
So I'll be honest, if it's a pet snake, I was like mostly referring to like snakes in the wild. Like I've known a handful of people.
no, pet snakes are poisonous too. Fuck them.
I don't have a problem with people's pet snakes. They don't bother me. As long as it's not like, oh, by the way, I'm like, what is this, like, Tiger King, dude? I'm like fucking Joe Exotic of the snake world, and I have the most
Great show,
poisonous,
though. Hilarious.
poisonous snake in the world. Then I'm not cool with it. But, like, if it's like your little, like, pet whatever, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But any snake I encounter in the wild is automatically, like, a cobra. And, like, the Indiana Jones version of what a cobra is. Like, I don't know if that's accurate, but, like,
Yeah, after
they're
you're done-
that aggressive and that poisonous.
After you're done with the snake, you'll go out and drink at a bar after you filmed. Or you go get wasted, do some prostitutes, kill them, pay someone to cover it up. I get it. Indiana Jones.
Perfect. You've seen the film.
No, when I was younger, me and my cousin, we were good friends. We're close to the same age. I would stay at his house on the weekends. I could never sleep in his room with that fucking snake, even though it's like in its aquarium. I'm worried about him like getting up and letting it out to fuck with me. And it's basically
Well, especially under the circumstances of what you said, where he like literally
Exactly.
like assaults you with it when you see him.
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, for me, sleeping in a room with a snake is like sleeping in a room with a guy with a gun. I'm not gonna fucking sleep, and I'm just worried. What's this guy want with me?
Like you react the same way in that you try to get a bigger snake.
No, I get the fuck out of there. And also, if you like pet snakes, stick around after the show. I'll show you mine. No, I'm just playing. I couldn't help it.
I had a friend who actually she was moving and she had a pet snake. And just this little fucking thing. Like, I don't know what type of snake it was. I'm not a snake person, but it was tiny. But it actually got out of its cage while she was moving and was just, like, in her car. And at one point she tells me this, like, while I'm helping her move. And she's like, oh, by the way, if you see my snake, it got out. And I'm like, where would it be? And they're like, she's somewhere in the car. And I'm just like, what the fuck
Pull
do you
over,
mean?
bitch!
Like, that's a little fucking weird. Like, even though I know your snake is harmless, like, I don't want it crawling up my pants leg or
Yeah,
something.
she really needed your help moving. Who the fuck? Oh, by the way, my snake's in here. Pull over.
Super
Yeah.
cash about it, too. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah. Like, oh, no big deal. There's a serpent in my car, by the way.
It won't hurt you.
Yeah.
And again, in my mind, Indiana Jones, Cobras.
Yeah.
You're on the defensive immediately.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy, like, to make the venom or anti-venom for snakes to, like, or antidote, whatever you call it, for a venomous snake bite, is
I think
like,
it's
you have to
anti-venom.
milk those snakes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's just like a jar with a piece of paper and a rubber band, and they're just squeezing their head in there. No thanks. I'm not a big fan.
You said you saw it as well, that fucking Tiger King documentary.
Yeah.
The guy mailed that chick a box of snakes, bro. Like, poisonous
Yeah.
fucking snakes.
Yeah.
Like, that is not okay, Joe.
Yeah, that's not a box of snakes. Fuck you, dude.
I don't think maybe he shouldn't be in prison for what he allegedly is in prison for. I honestly don't know. He's clearly not a good person, but like he should definitely be in jail for mailing somebody a box of poisonous snakes.
Well, I'll say he should definitely be in jail for those tribal tattoos.
And every song except for the one about the woman feeding her husband to the tiger.
His songs were great and hilarious, but when I see a tribal tattoo, I always think of Godsmack, the band. I always think I was like turning around the age where it was like popular when tribal tattoos came in. I was like 16, 17, 18, and I kept saying I was going to get a tribal tattoo, and I'm so glad I never fucking
Same.
did. My landlord is like 62 and he's an accountant, but he has a mustache and tribal tattoos, and he has the one from Dusk Till Dawn coming up his neck, and I'm like, how many years did you spend in prison, you piece of shit? Mom must have left this house to you.
And that was one of the first tribal ones I thought were the best looking.
Yeah, it was
ones, too.
when Dusk Till Dawn
That
came
was
out.
it.
George Clooney had that tattoo. I was like,
It was
oh,
dope
that's
as
fucking
fuck, yeah,
badass.
dude.
So it was real casual because it's like just there.
Yeah.
But you can cover it with
And it comes up with
clothes.
over his collar. And
But
shit.
now when I watch that movie, to me it looks like somebody painted like a numbers graph on his neck.
or you look like a recovering junkie or something like that.
Those are his likes on Twitter. It's way up right now.
He says a tattoo artist on standby.
He's got a laser guy in case he says the N-word somewhere. He's like, oh, I gotta take it down. I'm low. Oh. He has a tequila company, and I've tried it, and it's good, but it even describes itself as like a creamy taste, and I'm like, I don't want creamy tequila. That's how it comes out the next morning when I'm drunk or still, and I puke.
How, does it come served in a glass handgun, though? That's the real question.
No, it doesn't.
See?
But the thing
Two
that
strikes, George.
the thing that drives me crazy is his tequila company. Like, I think he sold it, or he sold like a big share of it. But all their ads are like two white dudes that look like they're from Gas Monkey Garage. Like they're from Gas Monkey and the Black Keys got together, like a mesh of those two kind of characters. And it's them in the desert on motorcycles. And I'm like, look, if I go out into the desert with a dude on a motorcycle, I'm worried about him trying to kill me. I'm not drinking tequila with you. Fuck you.
Either that or he's my best friend and we're already on mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't know we were going to the desert.
Yeah,
this is just where we
what's
are. I'm
happening.
like, yeah.
The trip takes you, man. You don't take the trip.
It feels
I
like
like that.
it feels like a sequel to Brokeback Mountain here.
Yeah. It's some Brokeback Desert.
There you go.
Director's cut.
Sandy and in all the wrong places.
Sand's never good in those situations.
Yeah,
regardless.
sand's not good for anything but making glass.
True.
Yeah, and those cool things people do at their weddings where they mix the colored sand together to one thing.
Well, and I love a good beach. I mean, I'll be real, just like for like beach sport activities, not for like fucking.
Oh, yeah,
Have you been to both coasts?
Yeah.
Which one has better beaches?
Ooh, dude, I love California. I was born in California, but I also am a scuba instructor, and Florida is got some primo diving, and the water's always warm. So California's got great diving too. Don't get me wrong, but it's always cold on the Pacific. So
that's one. Oh, go ahead. You have a question?
Well, I was just gonna say I haven't gone scuba diving. I've been snorkeling
right on.
a couple times.
Yeah, Jason's been snorkeling all right. Jason likes to feed the fish when he snorkels. I actually wanted to get this on the podcast. I think this is a perfect time to tell it. Tell us about your snorkeling in the Bahamas, right? Was it in the Bahamas?
This is the Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Tell us that story. How was your scuba diving or your snorkeling trip?
adventure.
Well, to know about the snorkeling adventure, you have to look at the bigger picture. So, I knew going to the Dominican Republic, don't drink the ice. Don't have the ice in your drink. So it was,
Montezuma's Revenge.
yeah, you can get sick real bad. And
Yep.
so I went the whole trip. I didn't have the ice. Everything was good. So we went out on a snorkeling trip, and they had hot cans of Coke. And not thinking otherwise.
That's the best way to dry your fucking mouth out.
Yeah, I just ended up putting it on some ice, and I drank it.
You've been there.
We went out snorkeling.
Ice is a wonderful thing when you want it.
Did you say ISIS or ice?
Get yourself straight down.
The frozen water.
Oh, okay.
To clarify.
I just want to clarify that.
So, so it was like, it was like a 15, 20-minute ride out that we went. And so, man, I felt the bubble guts start kicking in. And I'm like,
Nice.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Was your stomach making noise like, whoa?
Oh, you know it was.
Yeah. I hate that feeling because you
It
know
was.
what's coming.
It was. And so, we went out snorkeling and, they're showing us stuff. Like, hey, go here and go this and go that. And, I told John, John.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, John, was like, I gotta take a shit, man, real bad. And he's like, yeah, just go over there, like away from everyone over there, and he's like, just take a shit in the water, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. You know?
You gotta go.
I was like, I mean, at first I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And then I'm like, I have to go. It's gonna happen, or I'm just gonna explode when we get back on the boat in front of everybody.
Hey, look, I'm just chumming the boat.
And so, I swam away from everybody. I just looked around. Nobody was looking at me. Dropped my shorts. Squirt.
Ooh.
All the fish gathered to where I was and were eating the particles of shit. Just magnetically connected to me and was eating my shit. They were just all around me. Everyone from the group obviously stopped what they were doing. I saw a bunch of heads pop up. My boss comes over. He's like, hey, he was like an Italian guy from Long Island. He's like, hey, you shit in the water today or what? And I'm like, no.
He only knew that. It sounds like he shit in the water before, and he knows what happens.
He's been there.
Well,
yeah.
no, I was wondering how he knew, and then here comes John right behind him. He's like, hey, you shit in the water, didn't you? You know?
You couldn't even get away from it. It would have been funny if everybody came over there to look at the fish, and they're all swimming in your shit.
Well, here's the funny thing: was riding.
Funny to me, not funny to them.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody actually like physically found out about the shit because the fish ate all the evidence. But the ride back, everybody kind of side-eyed me.
I can imagine.
I was getting like a funny look from everybody because it was like our group, that we worked with, and just everybody's giving me a funny look.
They only side-eyed you because you brown-eyed them.
So
Puns, baby, I fucking love them.
I've got a snorkel story. I pulled up a picture. You guys will be able to see. You'll just have to describe it. But so I've been very fortunate with scuba instruction.
The screen went off.
Oh shit! Sorry. Let me fix that. I've been very fortunate in scuba instruction to lead some pretty dope trips, and I actually got to lead a shark diving trip.
Can I just say real quick? That looks like a bong you made.
Yeah.
It looks like a
I
face
didn't
mask
make
bong.
it, is the thing, but it's actually a beer bong made out of a scuba mask and snorkel. So it's actually a Fiji water bottle cut up at the top. I was shark diving in Fiji, and this was the fucking the dive cruise toy that they had for the end of the week.
Nice.
But they would to recruit you it was gross, but they would pour just everybody got to pour a little bit of whatever they wanted into it, and then you had to chug it through the snorkel.
Different beers,
different
alcohol,
beers,
liquor,
juice, whatever. Yeah,
juice.
Hot sauce.
I would have done grapefruit.
Anything.
Really, I mean, no one was spitting in it. Or
Well, yeah,
anything.
but I mean,
even
people are
pre-virus.
I would hope somebody would start. They spit in his mouth. Now smell his hair, you
Got a
fuck.
hooker.
Yeah, you drink that, you sick fuck. No, yeah.
But yeah, basically it was a beer bong or drinking bong, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
And that was
Made out
like
of
the
mask
initiation.
and you were in a blackout mask. The mask was taped over so you couldn't see. What
So how do you know
was
nobody spit in it?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of the honor system, I suppose.
It's very deprivation chamber-ish,
Wow, that's your job though, right? You teach people scuba diving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean that's
Not anymore. Back when the world worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look like a scuba diving instructor.
Are you for scuba?
Are you a scuba Rube? Yeah, I love that fucking movie.
I feel like you know exactly where to get a good jet ski rental.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like you know where to.
touch.
I feel like you know where to get a free jet ski rental.
Nothing's free, Mikey.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, I know. God's guilty. I get it. No, but yeah.
I'm never gonna live that one down. Maybe I can merch it.
That's okay. We always air, bitch. No, I'm just playing. Yeah. No, I don't know. We'll see how much you can pay me to cut that part out of the podcast. But then I gotta go back and trim all this stuff. So maybe we'll just start over. No, but yeah, that's awesome. So let's move this forward. We are running out of time here, but we do have a few minutes left. We're going to go to the part of the podcast where we talk about crimes. Jason has some crimes for us, and we'll make fun of them. Our goal is to not make fun of the victims when we do this. I mean, we're probably going to make fun, but just know that, if you're a victim, I mean, if you did the crime, fuck you. I don't care. I'll make fun of you. The shit's posted. Everybody's already making fun of you. But we're not making fun of people just to be asses. We're just having some fun here. So if that doesn't sound like something you'd like, I mean, you got a lot of episode before that, so still follow, like, subscribe, bitch. I'm just kidding.
You're going to know if you're going to like this segment by now.
Yeah, I think by now anybody's going to be
You're
like,
still listening. You're good, bro.
I'm on the fence about these guys.
He's seasoned at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk about some crimes. So what's the first crime you got for us today, Jason?
Okay, so it has to do with weird neighbors. And this lady, she ended up moving out of where she lived, and she asked her neighbor if she can store some boxes there for a little while. It wasn't a lot, just like a stack of boxes. safe to say, do you think she ever showed back up?
No.
She never showed up. Okay, so finally, like 5 years later.
Sure, you put it in Unit 10B, but yeah, like
5 years later, the lady opened the box, see what the hell's going on inside these boxes?
Bodies?
Husband.
Ah!
Chopped up.
whoa,
Pieces.
and now she's gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Ongoing investigation.
Wasn't there a smell? Like, when
May-
did the body start decomposing?
I don't know. Maybe
Smelling
she
of
used some
the
dry ice or something. Or wouldn't the body be basically bones in 5 years at
Well,
the beginning of the box? Wouldn't it be leaking or?
They ended up determining by looking inside the boxes that this was her husband that was missing, who was reported missing.
And they didn't look next door?
Never-
Jesus Christ.
never
No, she
cops.
moved out. Like he said when she moved out, she said can't store boxes here.
But, like, the cops have the former address. I would think that, like, the immediate vicinity would at least be, like, I don't know, like...
Oh, she's
I've
got her
never-
husband in a box. I feel like she tidied up the rest of the
I'm
place.
basing this entirely on just my watching of CSI, but clearly the husband jerked off at some point, and there's going to be a semen trail going from, like, the neighbor's house to the garage.
Not necessarily. When I jerk off, I use a condom. It's way easier to clean up. And it's funny. I'll jerk
That is
off
the
with a
most
condom.
environmentally unfriendly thing I've ever heard of.
I flush them. It's fine.
Listen, you're not killing a whale or anything like that, you know, so...
The funny thing is I'll use a condom to jack off, but I won't use it when I have actual sex with somebody. Yeah, I know what I like.
Preference.
Literally
It feels better to
less
jack off with a
responsible
condom.
than fracking. I love it.
Yeah, that's actually what I call it. Fracking.
Nice.
Yeah, searching for minerals.
It's just the sound it makes.
That's why I have to play a podcast when I jerk off. I tell my roommates, "Hey, I'm podcasting."
Hey guys, quiet down in there. I can't concentrate.
What happened? Oh, he podcasted everywhere. But yeah, that's crazy. She chopped them up in a box. Does it say, like, were there remains? Were they bones? Does it say anything about that?
Nope, just so they determined it was the remains of the husband, and it's ongoing, and they're looking for this lady, but she's 5 years long gone. Out, 5,000.
Oh, she's long gone, Long John Silver.
Done.
I mean, the only thing is, I mean, when did this happen? Do we have a timeline on this?
It's ongoing now, so it was about 5 years ago. It was 2015,
and it-
2014.
In our age, like now,
She
though,
could be
I
gone.
mean, well, she would have to completely change her identity, though. Like, she could be gone, but if she's still using the same name, the same
Or be
PIN
somewhere they
number,
won't find her, like some village in like,
Or like
fucking
another
Japan,
country or
somewhere there's no
whatever, yeah.
extradition. I mean, by the way, do you want half of this shot? This is all that's left. We finished the
Take
bottle.
it, birthday boy.
Yeah, let me give you some of this.
Very fair of you.
Yeah. Well, it's your birthday. And
I feel like,
you
if they can't find her, they might want to put Marcellus Wallace on the job. I want somebody in a bowl in Indochina.
I like that you omitted the N word for that, even though I was expecting to
Oh,
hear
really?
it. Yeah.
I knew you were.
Yeah.
I knew you
Are you
were.
gonna say it? I don't want to say it. I just want to get someone else to say it.
I just want a Royale with cheese.
I like that you avoided the subject altogether. You did a good job of dancing around since that whole Michael Jackson innocent thing. Cheers. Oh,
That's why I like to-
we touched our tips.
That's
Oh.
what my method. Just say the most controversial thing I can think of right up at the top. Make sure people hate me, and then try to be likable.
Yeah. Dig yourself a hole and see if you can climb out of it. You got another crime?
I always got another one.
Let's do one more and then we'll bounce out of
All right,
it.
it's a short one. So, a guy thought he was suffering a heart attack. You know, he was like serious enough to go to the hospital. I thought he was going to die. He then confessed to a 17-year-old murder. Felt like he was going to go see the pearly gates. He was like, I'm going to confess my sins.
But it was just
Yeah.
some acid reflux.
Yeah, you
It
just had
turned
gas.
out. It turned out to be acid reflux,
Hell yeah.
and he was.
I have that constantly.
Yeah, dude.
Especially now.
sentenced
I've
to
got
life
that
in
shot
prison.
tequila.
Fuck,
So-
fuck
so-
toilet paper, dude. I need Tums.
So would you?
I have some we're going to grab in the other room, but let me just say this before you go on. I just want to interject. I have acid reflux from that shot we just took right now, and I'm not telling y'all shit. I'm not telling y'all a fucking thing.
all 17 of his murders are gonna stay dead.
Done. No, it's crazy that you go to the hospital and you think that that's going to happen, and like the good comes out at that point. You're like, I'm just going to confess my sins, have it done.
See, I have such a serial killer mindset. If I thought I was actually going to die, like I was convinced, I'd write a note for them to find later. That way, if I don't die, I'll come back and burn that note. Or I'll take that shit to the grave with me. I got some secrets, and I ain't telling you shit.
Yeah, dude. I like the idea of like just those things dying with me. It's fine.
Yeah. It's kind of like a kindred thing. It's like, it should go this way.
Yeah.
End of
Depending.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dot on
Yeah.
the sentence.
It's
or
like
period.
when a movie
It's the end of
ends-
Sopranos.
Yeah, that's literally. I was gonna
yeah.
say it's like when a movie.
Well,
ends
you
and
want
lets
more?
reach
Make it
your own
up in your head.
conclusion, Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
be
Which
determined.
I've actually been binge watching BoJack Horseman with the.
I thought you were talking about
Benoit
Benoit again. The way you
binge
bust.
watching, but they make a great joke about how the ending of Sopranos was accidentally deleted
yeah.
by somebody. I love that shit.
I wish, just so you guys know, I fucking hated that ending. I like that they're filming a movie now, like a prequel, but still, that ending kind of makes me
know,
mad.
that's
But
cool.
at the same time, I love The Sopranos. Of
Wait,
course.
they're doing that without James Gandolfini?
Yeah, well, it's a prequel from like when I think it's supposed to be like from what I heard. I don't know, so don't quote me on this, but I think it's like when Tony Soprano's dad and Uncle Junior were coming up. Like they had it in a few flashbacks in The Sopranos, but I think it's supposed to be before, like before they were even to that point when they're like on their come up and making their name in the mob or whatever. There's no mob. No co-starter. But I have to say that because I don't want to get killed in my sleep.
It's fair.
But,
you gotta
but I think
yourself.
it's a prequel, so I'm imagining it's before James Gandolfini was born, or if it was if Tony Soprano is alive, it's probably a child, which they can cast whoever. For
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Maybe even
young
his son.
Tony
You never
or
know.
whatever, yeah.
They like to do that in Hollywood, like, oh, your
Oh,
dad
it's his
died.
kid,
You play your dad.
Nepotism in its purest form.
Yeah. Which hey, my dad was a movie star, but like, bitch,
Oh
we
yeah,
doing a
dude. I'm
movie.
not judging.
we doing?
I'm just jealous. Yeah. So talking about the mob, and we talked about Tiger King, dude. You
There
all
was
gotta
no
check
mafia.
out McMillions on HBO.
I heard that.
Yeah, actually,
Holy
I've already been watching
shit,
it.
dude.
I've been watching it.
Create that I honestly think McMillions is a little better than Tiger King. Tiger King is getting all the buzz. I thought McMillions was even more interesting. But I also just eat a lot of McDonald's, so maybe
Yeah.
it's hitting more near and dear to my heart.
No, it was. I always knew McMillions was
Yeah,
the way it
because it's
was.
giving you a heart attack.
You never hear of anyone real that wins any of the Monopoly stuff. So I mean,
Now
I
we
knew for
know
a
why.
fact. I knew for a fact. If you haven't seen McMillions,
Check it out.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch
No,
it.
it's worth it. It's worth the watch.
Well, this is a fun episode. Thank you, Miles, for coming on the
Dude,
episode.
thank you so much for having me. It's
I
a blast.
do have to say, I'm definitely naming this episode Michael Jackson is Innocent and God is Guilty. I'm sorry. That's the name of this podcast. I have to do it.
That's great.
It's
Comedy's
perfect.
dead. I have no chance anyway. It's
That's one of my favorite things. I like coming up with names for the podcast, but I also just coming up with names for everything. My ex used to tell me that I should be paid just to name things because I'm so good at simplifying things and making good names for stuff.
You like the
And I
royal
love-
namer?
Yeah. I would love to be the royal namer.
Call the
I
royal
would-
namer.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it the royal namer. I would-
it's already been done, bro.
Yeah. but thank you for coming on. Guys,
you.
if you like this episode, please follow, like, subscribe, find us on social media at the Open Mic Podcast anywhere. Find Miles' podcast, The Best Darn Diddly Review Show. Cool sticker, by the way. I like this Simpsons style sticker. Where can they find you on social media?
At Mr. Most Days Off everywhere.
At Mr. Most Days Off everywhere. That's Facebook.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere.
And your podcast is on everywhere
And
you
that's
find
Best Darn
podcasts.
Diddly. That's DIDDLY, and it's available anywhere. If it's not, let me know, and I'll make sure I get it there.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, follow, like, subscribe. Thank you guys for your support. We had a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, dude.